Hi, I'm Paul Brodie. Mitch behind the cameras, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. We're in our 5th year of making videos. Please subscribe. We would like to get to 100,000. That'd be great. We got lots going on today. We're working on the AERMACCHIs. I've got a black one behind me and I got a red one over there. This is going to be the new carburetor for the red one. And this is the old carburetor. And we're going to make an intake manifold. This is one that I made years ago. This is for a 34 millimeter carb. This is a 32, so this one's a little big. I thought I was going to use it, but it's too big. So this is how I make it. I went to Mopac and I bought, this is called a U-bend. And this is like $17, not expensive. And this is the part that I use. Can you see how basically it matches? And then there's insulating washer. It's made out of phenolic. It's PHENOLIC. And I looked it up this morning and it's part of a chemical family, and that's all I can explain. So I got this off a friend. This is a big piece of it, and he cut it with a skill saw, and the blade kept wandering. You can see that, but that's okay because I can still make the right size. So I cut it up. I cut it into sections and I milled it, and that's the finished product. So you can see how it's kind of the same, but if you look over here, can you see how it's offset? So that's what I have to do. And so this is the piece, this is this. So we're going to go to the mill, we're going to cut that out, and the hole gets offset by about 60 thou, because when you put on a larger carb, you don't want to just open the hole up. You want to match the floor of the port, and you remove metal off the roof of the port. So I'll show you that. This is the piece that goes on the end like that. Out of Australia, I ordered these. This is the proper manifold rubber. See how there's a little piece in there that sits into the groove so it won't fall off. Got a little hose clamp. And I took apart a carburetor. These are Chinese, and they don't cost a whole lot. This whole carb, including shipping, was $80. And I took it apart, and here's the pieces that come out. There's the needle and the needle jet, the main jet, and the pilot jet. Nothing has a number on it. Nothing. There's nothing to say whether it's this size or that size. So I got to order different jetting. And I was in my shop yesterday. I took Delrin and I made a velocity stack. So that's going to go on here. We're going to install that on the arbor press. And then we're going to make a manifold. Thanks for tuning in. Mitch and I like coffees. Let's get going. So I'm not going to use a hose clamp or anything. When I machine this, it's got a press fit of 4 thou, 5 thou, something like that. Not a whole lot. And Delrin is not super rigid. It's good, but not super rigid. So here we go. This is installation. There we go. That's what it looks like. So on the red bike, it's got the air horn or velocity stack. And on the black AERMACCHI, it's got a can-in filter. So it's 2 different styles. This carb was supposed to be a 30 millimeter, and it's actually 31.4. And this one is a 32. So they're about the same. So this is the gasket. it's phenolic, like I mentioned. And if you match up the holes like that, and this is the floor of the port, and this is the roof of the port, and I took a felt pen and I marked it so you can see how much material has to come out so that it matches. You don't want to take metal off the floor of the port. You want to take it off the roof. I have to drill 3 holes, so I offset each of these 2 holes, and then from the center line, I offset the big hole 60 thou. So that's what's happening right now. And offset 60 thou. All right, here comes the boring bar. We're gonna open up the hole, and we want to match it to this. And then you see how this is curving here? That's where a half round file comes in, because I have to match that. Okay. Well, I guess I took a little extra off. That's okay. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm using this as a guide for the shape. So 8mm Allens, put a nut on the other side, and then I can use my red Sharpie. And after the bandsaw is the belt sander, and I'll use the same bolts, and I'll put on the phenolic, and that gets belt sanded at the same time. So they're both the same shape. I don't know if you can tell, but I like making intake manifolds and exhaust systems and things like that. I'm just going to grab that phenolic and bolt it on and sand that. Be right back. Yeah, that's basically what it's going to look like. I wish it was a little bit more of a fit. It's a little bit loose. I took out an extra couple thou. So I'm going to mount this on the bike, and then we're going to adjust the intake manifold tube so that it fits and the carb has to clear. So there's a few little things going on here. So this motorcycle, if I remember, I restored it in about 2001. It's never been started. I made it out of 2 motorcycles. I took all the best parts. That's how it came together. Okay, so you can see what's going on. That's all mounted. We got the phenolic. That's the same size as the flange. And what we have to do, we'll come back over here. This is the piece that fits on this side of the carburetor. And I have to bore out this about halfway so that it fits onto the tube, or the tube fits into it, and then that gets silver soldered. So we can go to the lathe now. I can cut this off. I don't know the length. I'll show you something. I'm going to bring over a piece of paper. All right, when I was making these manifolds, I used to sell these. I had a website, AERMACCHI Northwest, and I used to sell race parts for AERMACCHIs. Can you see here how this looks? So that was the end there of the manifold. And I didn't get the same bend. This is a 3-inch radius. This is a 2.5-inch radius. They didn't have a 3-inch. So it's going to look a little different, but that's about where the manifold would end, like that, right about there. So when I've got this, I probably need to cut it a little bit shorter, but I think for right now we'll leave it long. Can always cut it shorter later. We'll cut it off and we'll bore this out so that it just slips over. That's going to get silver soldered. I have had this hacksaw since 1988. Amazing. We'll start with that side. It's a little bigger than 1 3/8, just a little bit. Oh, huh. How did that happen? Somehow I read the caliper wrong. Oh well. See, look, it's got a dent there. That came from the factory. Okay, well, it's going to get silver soldered, so it'll work. That's a shame that I screwed up a little bit. We're all human. Okay, let's go check and see how this all fits. Okay, so this is the booty. Okay, so that's basically how it's working, like that. So what I need to do is to put this on the bike and see how the angle is this way and also in rotation. And then I need to put a mark, and that's when I do a little TIG weld. So I'm going to give this a little sand here. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the angle looks good. And This could go a little bit that way. There we go. Did you see? Oh. All right, so I don't have a lot of clearance at the bottom, so what I'm going to do, I have to change the angle. I have to go to the belt sander, and it's got to come up a little bit, like that. So we're going to take a little bit off here. So I'll take this off, and I'll see if it's seated all the way to the bottom. And if it is, I'll TIG weld it. Yeah, see how it's seated right to the, oh, well, actually, it didn't go right to the bottom. And I don't want to take off too much. Just a little bit. So there's my marks. I think I'll do a couple little TIG tacks and see how it works. Oh, I got lots of room now. Okay. See that on the bottom? Got lots of room. So that made a big difference. That'll work. Okay, that's basically what I wanted. That turned out okay. Okay, so we have a situation where I bored it a little bit too big. Can you see how it's a little sloppy there? So what I'm going to do is to put some punch dots here with a center punch, and we'll see how that works, because it's going to make the hole a little bit smaller if I go around every so often. So it's going to centralize the tube inside the bore. It's a little bit of cheating, but that's okay. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so it's not falling off anymore. So we're going to flux it up now. We're going to silver solder around here and here. And then the manifold is basically made. Then we go to the belt sander and we sand off all the TIG weld. And then you can't see how it got made, how it got welded. That's what happens on this one. Silver solder is a little fillet there. And then on the inside, when all the TIG weld gets off, sand it off. It's nice. All done. That turned out quite nicely. I like this paint. It usually dries quite fast. Aluminum blast, that's what it is. So, look at that. Seems to be dry. It's quite amazing. Fastest drying paint that I know of. Okay, I guess we'll go install it now.
2 minutes now.
It's 2 minutes. It dries in 2 minutes. It's got about just over 1/8 of an inch of clearance, so that's nice. And we'll do up the hose clamps. There you go. It's rubber mounted. And there's about, that's the gap, about 1/8 of an inch right there. That's good. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it very much. Please like and subscribe. If you buy us coffee, it really helps the channel. And we'll see you next week. Take care.